So I don't know if you can see this or read it properly, but it says Fabs Glow Well PLT. It's that clinic I went to today that is on the first part of the post. Anyway, the dude had some serious issues. So, it's all about cleansing and detoxification and all that kind of stuff. But this is who the dude is, I think. Has to do with him saying that in the eyes of his clients or patients, he is God. And he referred to himself as God and Master for a lot of time. Now, what he did is that he had a galvanator or some device that would trigger an acupressure point on my hands, which was to signify what points in my organs in my body were having issues. Now, yes, I have issues, but it's sort of layered. It's not just one problem. It's a number of things that have occurred, and I'm looking for treatments. And so I was happy in one sense that he confirmed that I had stones in my kidneys and liver, and that I needed to cleanse. And he recommended things like the detoxification formula. Now, this is something you actually have to see, because Lord. So there was this sort of process of to drink green apples with lemon and vitamin C powder, which I couldn't find but in a moment of time. And I have lots of apples, green apples, and lemon. Now, there are lots of cleansing fasts out there. So this was particularly for, the liver and the kidneys, and to break down the stones or the fatty liver kind of thing. And it's a big deal here in Malaysia now. Everybody talks about the fatty liver. If you go to any of the pharmacies, they're heavy into pills for fatty liver. So anyway, then there was this this kidney bath. So I had to have ginger, as you can see, lots of ginger, and shallots. So with a foot bath that had to be done between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. for 50 to 20 minutes in a 50-degree temperature, yada, yada, yada. So, and then, because I'm taller, I had to go buy this very large bucket, so apparently it came up to my knee, and let's make the soaking. So I'm beginning to make it, but I realized, and he said it had to be this Bendong ginger, which was nowhere to be found. So I'm cooking the ginger and making the juice, cleansing stuff. And I have all these shallots, which I will throw in to this brew once the ginger has become more cooked. But I realized that I'm a practical person. I can't make and waste this every single day. And he talked about levels of concentration that had to be met. So I realized, hey, why not take the ginger, boil it till it's fairly soft as well, and the shallots, okay, and when they're in a position, why not blend them and make a paste or some kind of poultice, wrap my legs in it, go sit in the sauna, and maintain the 50 degrees without necessarily, you know, the complications of getting into the, you know, this big thing, filling it with water, hot water, which I don't have a heater. I just have kettle and this. And, you know, there's always a way around stuff. I mean, you have to adapt it to what you have. I wouldn't be in this position if I didn't realize that there were no accessible or easy or cheap saunas in this part of Malaysia. And I ran into all these conditions because I just didn't have any way to get to it. So it's steaming up lovely, and got all the apples that I could possibly need, and I can drink, you know, I need to strain it, I think, or just, you know, sip it out without getting all that pulp in. But, you know, apple pulp is good for you, you know. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So I'm making it so I can begin this process of, yeah, the liver is pretty damn cooked. It's been, you know, dealing with Lyme disease and all that kind of crap is really rough. So I have a massive amount of ginger outside and working on making it all come together. But I gotta tell you, the dude had a shit fit when I began to not necessarily interrupt him, because he's speaking one language and I'm speaking the next, and when I hear the points that he's talking about, I'm confirming and saying, yeah, that's right, that's, you know, that's where I'm at, and I can deal with it. But the arrogance was way beyond my ability to cope, because I wanted to walk out of there, because nobody behaves like this. And then he was saying that my behavior, which basically is you're shocking my hand, and I had not experienced it before, and I pull my hand away, which one would do, of course, if one was being shocked. And that sent him into a frantic tizzy of rage, and he began to vent and, you know, throw a tantrum. So, you know, people are saying to me, well, you know, he's very professional and yada yada yada, and he's very famous and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. You know, anybody who proclaims that they're God, they ain't. And anybody who throws these kinds of tantrums, well, you know, just because A, he doesn't understand the language, and B, he doesn't understand the entire situation. Yeah, the liver has issues, and you know, everybody's liver has some issue or the other. Yeah, I'm sensitive to having my hands electrocuted. That's understandable. And, you know, if you're dealing with something like Lyme disease, which, you know, really messes up your body, your liver is going to be in a state because it's always under attack, and there are things that have to be done. So I'm doing it. I'm going to make it work, because that's the kind of guy I am. And he did something really peculiar and gave a prescription for vitamins that come from only a particular distributor, and they are running at 600 ringgits. And I know from here in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur and stuff like that, anything that's a brand here, you know, if you go anywhere with brands vitamins, they crank up the prices that are so over the top in ways that you cannot possibly imagine. 600 ringgits is about 200 bucks. And, you know, I could probably get it for $50 in Canada without any effort. But hey, I am here and I'll do the best I can, but I gotta tell you something. You gotta be careful with some people, because he has one way of approaching it, and it's the only way. And for all of us who have traveled around the world, who have been involved with health and healing processes, there are many ways to climb that mountain. Anyway, so that's part of what happened today. Like I said, I was completely offended because his behavior was extraordinary. So he continued the conversation with the other guy in Chinese, and I got bits and pieces of it in English. But I was like, wow. And I actually had told the guy that, hey, don't expect me that I will react to these things. And when they told me that what they were going to do, I said, well, look, if it's acupuncture based, I could react quite strongly. And I've actually screamed when I've had needles piercing my skin or hitting these meridians. So honestly, there was no need for it, for the extreme reaction. And all I can do is do the best I can and do a make it work situation. This is one of his websites, etc. And literally, he does think he is God. And that's a no-no. Apparently he's a Saraquian or something like this. And apparently that may be something that they indulge in this belief that they become God. Neutralite, that was a company. So he says I must go there and spend 600 ringgits on Acidophilus bifidus and other things. So anyway, that's what this post is all about. So just one more way of dealing with a very complicated zoonotic issue with some, compounded congenital aspects. Okay, bye for now.